Hi all, this is Janie, and I'm here today with another Keynote trick and tip to help you get the most out of not only your iPlanner or iJournal, but also your iDesign shapes that I think are just absolutely brilliant. We're looking at one of the icons that Sandy has in the library. It happens to be the meal icon. I mean, we all eat, right? And the way these icons come technically unboxed is with two forms. One is a square and one is a circular icon. What are we going to do with it? Well, what we're going to do is personalize them. And I'm going to show you how Keynote makes that just very easy and very quick. The first thing I'm going to do before I start personalizing is I'm going to create a blank slate that I can work in. This slide that you see in front of you is the master slide. And I like to maintain the integrity of this slide. That way I always have it to come back to. Now, I can start adding slide after slide after slide, which I've got in some of my presentations, but we're gonna go with it today. In order to add a blank slide, I'm going to have to look at the left-hand column of Keynote, and on my iPad, at the very bottom is a blue plus sign. Yours might be a different color depending on whether you have the day-night turned on or whatever it's called. But that's what it is, left-hand side, lower corner. I'm going to tap on that plus sign, and I get a menu that says to add a slide. And I'm going to tap on the picture of the slide. And magic, it appears right in front of me. Now I'm going to transfer the working design to this slide by copying and pasting it. So I have to return to my master slide, which in the left-hand column is, if you can see it, it's labeled number 1, but it's the one we started with. And for today, I think we're going to go ahead and use the square shape. So I tap on that one time. Now I know I've done it correctly because I'm going to copy it, and I get a taskbar that says cut, copy, blah, blah, blah. I also know that it's a group, which means I'm going to be working at various levels because in this taskbar it says ungroup. If this is not grouped, you won't see that. It will instead say group. But for our purposes right now, we're going to tap on the word copy. It turns gray, and my design is now copied. I return to the blank canvas, and I'm going to tap on my canvas or my slide to paste it. Paste, and there it is. Now I'm going to move it up to the top just for a second. It has, I call them positioning handles, and what they are handles, those little dots that allow you to size the image up or down, left or right. In your, what we want to make sure first is that we want to be able to size this particular graphic proportionately. Now, if I were to close this, I would go to my paintbrush icon in my toolbar, and it would say arrange because it's selected. If I don't have it selected, if I click on the paintbrush, I get something totally different. So I'm going to single tap, and it says arrange, and I want to make sure constrain proportions is toggled on. I know it's toggled on because it has a blue background behind the slide. Again, yours may be a different color. To size this up, now I'm going to go to my image, and I'm going to tap on the lower right-hand corner, my preference, and I'm going to slide it to enlarge it. And I know that it's sizing proportionately when I see that diagonal, dashed, or dotted yellow line. I'm going to drop it, and I'm going to tap off of it, and now I have a much larger image. You might be asking why. In order to back up, I've discovered, and I know several others have discovered, that often when I take this into my iPlanner, if I create it at a larger size in Keynote, it becomes a clearer graphic in iPlanner. Actually, it's in GoodNotes. It's a GoodNotes thing, not the iPlanner. So, and I am going to be taking this into GoodNotes. So I just size it up. The other reason I size it up is it just simply makes it easier to work with. Sometimes I can't get it too big because of the size of the image, but these size up pretty well. They're fairly small when you get them. So I'm going to take now, and I want to add papers to this in order to make it my own. Let's see. I think I love glitter and I love gilded. Let's go with gilded today. And I am going to first bring in a gilded feature or a gilded pattern into my knife, my fork, and my plate. So I'm going to double tap on that one in the middle of the plate, and you can see that it's simply those three, the white items that have been selected. Now I'm going to select my paintbrush, select image, and replace. I'm going to scroll down to my gilded patterns from, again, digitallyspeaking.net. I'm going to select them, and I don't know about you, my flatware and stuff in my kitchen silver, so I'm going to go with the gray. And it brings it in at a very, very pretty image. Now, maybe I want it to look a little more rustic, like hammered metal, so I'm going to double tap again. And now I can size up the pattern or the paper that I just brought in to this particular design. It gives, with this particular set of patterns, it gives a whole different look. I'm going to select done, and now I have a really shiny, dazzly set of kitchenware. But it doesn't wow me on the background. So I am going to double tap on the gray background now, double tap, and I'm going to go to image. It comes up because it was the last thing I did, replace. And I am going to go to, it's actually Marry Everything. I typed it wrong when I put it in my photo album. My Marry Everything, and I am going to grab, I think I'm going to go ahead with the green. My dining room screen. And now I have a solid color background for my sticker. It's okay. I like it a little bit. I think there needs to be more contrast, so I'm going to change it by, again, double tapping, replace, Marry Everything, and I'm going to go with the red. Much better. I really like that one. And now I've personalized the sticker to go with either the season, or even if I've color coded how I refer to things, I could do that with this sticker. It is pretty much out of the box. Hang on, and we're going to take this sticker a couple of steps further. So now we're going to make some changes to this particular icon. Because I like the first one, there's a very good chance I'll use it again. I am simply going to, and I've already done this for time, I've duplicated the slide, and I'm going to be working on a duplicate of the one I just created. This time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to resize the cutlery. So I tap on the cutlery, double tap, as Sandy says, tap, tap. My bounding box shows up, and I'm going to drag it and get a proportional sizing. I'm going to put it back in the center of the slide. Now, I'm not sure, that doesn't look quite centered to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on it again and move it around. If I move it around and I get perpendicular crosshairs, that means I have centered this particular part of this design on the slide. That's important, on the slide, not the background necessarily. Because I actually resized my background, now I have to do the same check with it. Tap, hold, and move. Now I've resized it. I'm sorry, I've moved it. I see my perpendicular crosshairs. So I'm centered on the slide with everything. And now I've resized the center so it's a lot more visual, a lot more visible. What if I want to make one more change? And now we're operating in the third slide of this particular series. Maybe I want to add an outline to this. So let's say on the background, I'm going to tap on the background, double tap, and I'm going to go to Paintbrush, Style, and I'm going to turn Border on. Now I can select my style from a selection. It can be a dotted one, dashed, kind of a sketchy one, or a drawn one. It depends on the look that I want. For today, I think we'll go with the dots. And we will change it from black to, yeah, let's go with black, just so it will show up. Lost it. And let's increase the size. So where it says width, I'm going to move it up to, something that I like. That gives it a little variety. Now let's say I want to change the look of this. I, again, tap on it. Actually, I don't want to. Let's hit done. And I'm going to size it down just a bit. Drag it to the center. And now I'm going to add a border to this. Again, my style. I think I'm going to leave it just to be a black line, but I'm going to make it just a little thicker. And now I have a whole different, tap off, a whole different looking icon to put in my iPlanner. But what if I want to change it one more time? So I have, again, another copy of the designs I've been using. This time I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to get rid of the outlines. I'm going to tap on that, double tap. I keep forgetting to say that, I'm sorry. And to get rid of my border, all I have to do is toggle it off. To get rid of the border on the plate, toggle it off. Select done. And this time I want to add a shadow to my plate and my knife and my fork. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to toggle on shadow just to give it a little depth or dimension. And that's okay because there is some color change, there's some color differences. Again, double click on my background, toggle shadow on. And that is just enough depth for this particular icon so that it will kind of pop right off the page. But what if I want to change it again? If you look at our left-hand column in Keynote, you're going to see that we are now collecting quite a nice little library of styles for this particular icon. We're going to be able to use them in a lot of different ways in a lot of different places. What I want to do this time, one more style, is I'm going to show you how you can use or create an embossed type of style. Sometimes you don't want a lot of different colors, you just want a background color. So to do that, I'm going to change the coloring, and it's going to at first match my background. So double tap, paintbrush, replace, Merry and Bright, Merry Everything, red. Now that looks pretty good. I kind of like that particular style. But let's take and play a little bit with shadows just to see the effects that we get. Double tap again, style. And in Keynote on the iPad, you are limited to your styles as far as shadows. So I've done a little research and you cannot add new styles to this. I like them. There's nothing wrong with this. I can't change a lot of it. And that's my boogaboo. So I'm going to go to the second preset style, and I really like that. Third, that's a little deeper. I think that has the most appearance of being embossed. Fourth, fifth, nope. Sixth, I don't think so. I think my favorite for an embossed look is the third one on the top row of shadows. And now I have a sticker that looks very much like I took and embossed it in some way, shape, or form. If I toggle off of it, that looks pretty good. And I think I would be very happy with that in my planner. So I now have 5 different styles of this particular icon that I can use to designate just about anything I want. But wait, there's more. What if you actually don't want the background? Well, there's a couple transitions you can do with this background just to make it look a little different. And for these two, because I'm going to give you 2 ways, I'm going to use the same slide. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double tap on that background, and on the right hand side I'm going to select opacity, and I'm going to lower that so that when I put it on my page, the background will show through and it will look like it's a see-through sticker. Okay, so that's opacity, and you can take it down to wherever you like. I could actually take it like down to almost nothing, 10%, and I just get a hint of color, just enough to know that I have a background there. But I'm not limited to a background on this. I'm going to double tap, hold, and when I get the menu that says delete, I'm going to delete it. And now all I have left is my coloring. And I have a totally new look to my sticker. Or, if you think about it, a new way to use this particular image. But those are tricks for another day. I hope this has given you plenty of ideas, and I hope your creative juices are flowing. Go out, have a little fun, spread some iPlanner and iJournal love today. Bye.